Hello everybody, welcome to week 2. What I want to do today is talk about reading from a file. Now I presume you did this in Python, and it was much easier in Python than it's going to be in C++. First of all, our files are text files. We create them using Notepad. Now that's in Words. I think there's an equivalent in Mac, but I'm not exactly sure of it. We can't use Word because Word puts special characters on the file that I don't want. I only want the text itself. So I created a file called operas.txt. The files from Notepad are supposed to be text files. That's their type. And I did it, pardon me, the size is wrong, from the file that I have there. This is actually a bigger file. I only put the first 50 out. There were about another 75 or 80. Now, in the file, I'll show you the file in a second. Let me just make sure that I've got everything the way I want it here. Yep. Nope. Just take me a second. This is the file. I just typed it like any other file. I have 3 lines for each opera. I have the name of the composer, the last name, the name of the opera, and what language it's in. Predominantly Italian in this particular section. So, the file has 3-line entries. I have to define it for you. Line 1 is last name of the composer. Line 2 is name of the opera. And line 3 is the language of the opera. I'm not going to tell you how many there are there, because you shouldn't need to know. Well, I will tell you there's 50, but you shouldn't need to know that for what we're going to do. In C++, we, again, remember we have to type everything. Everything has to be typed. It has to be some kind of type. So, first, we need a new # include. The new # include looks like some of the ones we already have. Fstream. The F is for file. It's just like IOStream, but IOStream works for the keyboard and the screen that we type into. Fstream works for files. We can declare files as IF file. That's not right. Let me just check and make sure I type it right. IF stream. That's what I knew it wasn't right. IF stream, and then a file name. And when we do it that way, this is for input files. These files are for input. If we use OF stream file name, these files are for output. I don't want to get into doing them for both input and output, because then you'd have to keep track of where you are inside it, and that's not something we need to do at this point. Once you get a file, before you do anything else, we must open a file, which means connecting it to the physical file in our file system. Well, I'm slightly the physical file giving it the name of the file, but the full name. Now I'm going to go to File Explorer, and I'm going to show you a file I have. This isn't the one I wanted. That's coming up under Documents. I need to have it come up under I think that's where it is. Here we are. Now I tend to put a lot of names in, but the best way to find out the name of a file is to right-click on it and say Properties. This file is a text document, which means its file type is .txt. That's the kind of files that Notepad writes. The location of the file is c:/users/fp_spring 2021/csc104. That's a mouthful, right? Now the slash can go either way. It can be that slash or the other slash. I tend to use the other slash. And the name of the file, in this case, is onames. So that's how you find out where the full name of a file if you need to. I use the File Explorer in Word. In Windows, there's an equivalent in the Mac, I'm sure. So next, let's look at how I write that in when I'm ready to write a program. You see my includes. I put in string because I'm going to sneak into using strings for the first time, or we'll be getting there. That's coming very soon. Now, I didn't want to go that far. All right, here is how I did it. I opened the file. The name of the file has to go in quotes. And if I use this backslash, I have to double it. The reason is that backslash, and I think the other one also, are special symbols. And inside the quotes, they need to be doubled. But notice I gave the full name. It's in the folder users, with the folder FP4 under it, with the folder Spring 2021 under it, with the folder CSC104 under it, and the name of the file is onames dot, and the type of the file is text. Now I know it's a little bit. It's a lot. You might make yours simpler. There's my input file. So here's the problem I've set for myself to see how we could do it. I'm going to have as my problem write a C++ program to read the operas.txt file and print to the screen the names of the composers and print to a file the names of the operas. We will be using strings. You're used to that as our type to hold names of composers, operas, and languages. And there's one little quirk with string. You have to be careful how you read them. To read strings, we often need to use the word get line. Problem is that if you use cn, or the equivalent for reading from a file, it doesn't read past the last character, the last space, the first space, pardon me, on the line. So for example, if I did a normal read, that's not the file I want, pardon me, the other one. I thought I had both of them out there. I didn't, so let me bring up, oh, I do. See this word, Lucia de la Mamor? If I read that without using getLine, just use cn or the equivalent of it, all it reads is the Lucia. It doesn't go past the first character. So when I have files that have names on it, that have spaces in them, I have to use getLine to get the entire line. There's just no way around it. Now, getLine's not hard, but let's just look at how it works. When you do getLine, that's the declaration. You have to give the file name and the name of the string you're reading the value into. So what I've got here is the form is getLine file name, comma, string name. Now be careful, that file name is the name that you defined up in the F stream, in the IF stream. It's not the physical name that it has on the in your file system. So here I am, and now I've got it inside a while. What does that mean? Why in the world would I be asking for a true-false value from it? Well, that's because of a very convenient little trick. getLine returns a value, and the value is true if we read something, and is false if we are past, if we try to read past the end of the file. In other words, this is the way to find out if it's reading past what we should, if it's attempting to read more than we have. It's the way to get an end of file. And it's a nice, simple way of doing it. Now, if we go back here, what I did was I said, let's read the composer. while there is something to read, I'm going to print the composer out to the screen. I'm going to get the opera name. I'm going to print the opera name out to the file. Now notice, this is just like cout. It's just you use the file name instead of cout. There's no difference. And then I'm going to get the language, and I'm going to go to the next entry. Now there's one thing you ought to do at the end, which I actually forgot to do a minute ago. You should close each of the files. I can tell you right now, it won't kill you if you don't, but you're supposed to. It might kill you later. Something might go wrong later. But all I'm doing here is saying, I'm finished with them. I want them available for other people. And then I return 0. So for files, you need to know F stream. Again, remember that's not capitalized. F stream, open, close, and get line. And we are using IF stream. Well, that should go up here. We need that here. IF stream, OF stream, and we're also using strings. We have, I'll put it, the data type string. As in Python, if we have a string, for example, we read composer, then if we write composer bracket 0 close bracket, where these are the square brackets, not the curlicue brackets, then that's the first character. And that's a character, not a string. Unfortunately, there is nothing equivalent to the slicing that you can do in Python. We only can take one character at a time. It's a drawback, but that did not happen in most languages. Python sort of put it in there. So we don't have it. So let's see if this works. It better. I got it to work a few minutes ago, but let's see. So it's going in. Wouldn't you know it? Oh, there it is. So those are the names. They aren't unique. They weren't meant to be. Just the names of the people in those 50 operas. Now, did the file work? Well, the only way I can find that out is by going to Notepad and opening wherever I think the file is. I think the file is called onames. So let's open it. Yeah, those are the names of the files. So that works. So that's what I want you to get right now. I want you to be able to open and read and write files. That way I can give you more interesting problems. I can give you things where you don't have to type as much. You just type them once and you don't have to type them every time you run the program. So I'm going to put this out, and I expect I may have a homework for you within an hour. So see you later now. Bye.